Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Bushes on the Trail. I'm Al, and this time Christy and I are back in wild and wonderful West Virginia, and we are at the New River Gorge National Park again, and we are taking on the Long Point Trail. Now this is located across the river from the Endless Wall Trail. It's another 3+ mile out and back hike, real easy for the most part, except for about the last quarter mile where it's downhill. The trail narrows a little bit, gets a little rougher, but the views are fantastic, and you will get a phenomenal view of the New River Gorge Bridge. So again, this is a wonderful hike. If you're in the New River Gorge National Park area, check out this trail. Again, we will show you the typical ins and outs of the trail along the way, some sights to see, some important trail junctions to follow. But other than that, it should be a pretty easy trail for you to follow, so I hope you stick around. Okay, another winter hike. We're in Fayetteville, West Virginia, at the New River Gorge National River area, and we're taking on the Long Point Trail today. Should give us a good view of the New River Bridge, and says it's a moderate hike. We'll see what it's like. The first portion seems to be almost like an ADA type path, very well packed down, and I'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute. So should be about a 3 mile out and back or so. We'll check the mileage when we're done. Okay, as soon as you get off that ADA path, it gets horse trail muddy, almost. I mean, there's a lot of mud here. It's slick. I'm glad they did open up the trekking pole for this one. We were warned when we came out that it was pretty muddy. But I didn't realize it would be this muddy to start off. Whoa, about fell. Well, about 3/10 of a mile in, and the mud starts to subside. So there's about 1/10 of a mile to 0.15 miles where it's really muddy, especially after this recent snow melt. So right now, some mud, but at least it's manageable. All right, 0.4 miles in, the Fayetteville Trail, getting more top. So right there, the Long Point Trail this way. So we're going to Long Point this direction. You'll see it's a lot of different trails coming together. So make sure you check the signs. Okay, a little over half mile in, you come to this junction, and we're going to follow to the right, continue on. And the Long Point Trail to the right. we are almost a mile in, and there's been a lot of these little bridges or raised mounds, like miniature bog crossings, which have helped alleviate some of the mud problems right now. Again, not horribly muddy, or at least as muddy as the first portion. Now, this is still a muddy trail after all the snow melt. But so far so good. A lot of forest walking the first mile. Now going to see a lot of views, but the view is supposed to be at the end. All right, 1.15 miles into the trail, and we can see the bridge off in the distance. I'd show you video, but there's too many trees in the way, but between the trees we can see it. So should be about less than a half mile away from the overlook, I would think. Apparently bicycles are allowed here because here are some bike racks and signs that says no bicycles beyond this point. .38 miles in, and the trail gets a little rougher. A lot of roots in this area, but it is dry, not muddy. So actually a little easier to traverse. This would be a nice hike in the snow or fall, and in the summer it should be pretty well covered with a lot of greenery. Sort of a green tunnel style walk. All right, 1.46 miles in, we hit a downhill rhododendron tunnel. We're getting closer to our vantage point of the bridge. And about 1.53 miles in, we come to this little spur trail off to the edge, and we get to look at the endless wall from across the river. We were over in that area earlier today. Down there is the New River. And there's the bridge off in the distance. We'll continue on. And the views down as we approach the bridge view. And here we are at the end of the Long Point Trail, out to the Long Point for the views of the New River Gorge Bridge. Absolutely beautiful up here. All right, this is about 1.65 miles in where we hit this point. Now it's time to head back for some food. There's another waterfall right there. on the way back. The first 2/10 of a mile, fairly decent up. So this is where the moderate portion of the trail comes into play. All downhill mostly to the actual lookout. As you can tell, breathing a little heavy. So it should be uphill for a little while longer. All right, we're 2.3 miles in and everything is leveled out. We've caught our breath. Still muddy. A little bit slightly uphill, I guess, but not horrible. That's why this is rated moderate trail. The first, I don't know, half mile coming back maybe is a little uphill. Some of it's steep over some roots, rocks you have to step up on. Your heart rate gets up 150, 160 beats a minute. So it's something you can do if you're in decent shape. It's not strenuous, but it can be moderate in that portion. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this trail is not blazed very well. There's some places where you'll come to trail junctions and have to, that are unmarked, and we've had to pull out all trails just to get an idea of which way to go when the fork hits the road, so to speak. So there's been a couple of paths where we've had to really watch where we're going. All right, 1 mile in, or coming back from the overlook, and it's uphill again. This time a little snow on the trail. This ought to be fun. Okay, here we are 2.95 miles into the hike and starting to get muddy around this corner. It gets really bad. So we're getting close to the home stretch. All right, about 2/10 of a mile of mud and we are back on the ADA path. Hopefully some of this, we've wiped some of it off of our shoes, but hopefully most of it comes off before we get to the car. The Long Point Trail is roughly a 3-mile, highly trafficked out and back trail located in the New River Gorge National Park outside of Fayetteville, West Virginia. Now, this trail falls between the easy to lower moderate range as far as hiking difficulty is concerned. The trail starts off really easy and wide up until you're about a quarter mile from your destination. Then the trail narrows and becomes a little more moderate in terrain, but offers great photo opportunities and views as you approach the New River Gorge Bridge lookout at the end of the trail. Opening in 1977, the New River Gorge Bridge is a 3,030-foot long steel arch bridge, and the roadbed is 876 feet above the New River. Now, the bridge once held the title as the world's largest single-span arch bridge and the world's highest bridge to carry roadway traffic. No matter what your intent, whether you're out to get some exercise or you want a great view of the famous New River Gorge Bridge, this walk in the woods will show you why West Virginia is truly wild and wonderful. All right, well, that was another nice little walk in the woods in the New River Gorge National Park. It is a trail I would highly recommend that you check out. And if you don't mind, let us know your comments. If you've been there on this trail before, what you experienced when you were out there on the Long Point Trail. Or if you plan on going in the future, we would love to hear about it. Also, please don't forget to give us that thumbs up. It really helps us out here on the channel. And remember, you can follow us at Bushes on the Trail on Instagram and on Facebook. And one last thing, don't forget to subscribe here at Bushes on the Trail. That way you don't miss any of our other adventures and all the walks in the woods we are taking. Thanks a lot.